Hello, everybody, and welcome to the Friday edition of Moohead Radio. I'm your host, a big and furry bovine, furrier than normal. Joining me is Bronk out in England. Hey there, how you doing there?
Hey, big moose.
Yeah, you big moose head, you. I remember when people they used to call me Moorhead, and I said, no, I'm not a porn star. One person called me Moosehead, and I said, I'm not a pervert either. I've had it all, it's like Moohead. It's simple. No,
nothing's simple in this world.
No, unfortunately not. I want to tie in a thread here together. Headline from Myles Garrett. It's Myles Garrett time because it's 2 days before the game and he has to get his headline.
He has to say something, God damn it.
Yeah. Quote, I'm not being the dominant force that I know I can be.
Oh, stop.
All right. So here's the deal. And I'm going to tell you something straight and honest. I don't give a fuck about Sunday. I don't give a fuck. And I'm not going to just be going into endless detail about playing the Patriots and what the Browns need to do to win, because the Guardians shut the fuck up and did it. And this again, the notion that, I'm a dominant player, but I'm not being that dominant player that I need to be. And it just sounds like Joe Woods, that's not the defense that we preach around here. And, we really were looking forward to this year because we're second year into the whole thing. And I know our guys could be better. On and on and on it goes. Where it stops, nobody knows. But I'll tell you one thing. The Guardians, as Bob Costas was perpetually reminding us, though, the Yankees are a better team. The Yankees are a better team. The Yankees are a better team. Although the Guardians were 24-6 at the end of the season, but the Yankees are a better team. And this is what we're a better team. Did I say better team? They're a better team. On and on and on.
He is so he's actually old, man. The dude is over 70 years old. He dyes his hair. I mean, he needs to go away.
And not only that, it's like his constant, I remember Jose Urbaca all the way back in 1924.
Yeah.
Not that I remember him, but I read about him.
Oh, and then they were talking about he bought a Ford Pinto and Rob Darling bought a Ford Galaxy. I go, this is what I tune in from England to watch, you dickheads.
Yeah, and the thing that's amazing to me is everybody has lost sight. Before it's all said and done, the sheer mass and weight of the payroll of the Yankees could be consecutive wins and on they go, or consecutive losses and out they go, and then the New York press will have a field day with Aaron Boone. Okay? It could go either way. At this point, I can't tell you. I don't know what's going to happen.
The most annoying aspect of that broadcast today.
Oh, what was that?
You'll probably agree with me. Was when they were talking about Aaron Judge's possible free agency, and Yankee fans were all nervous about maybe he'll go somewhere else.
Yeah, like somebody has that money to pay him.
I think that's a problem for Guardian fans. Don't you think, you dickhead? Oh.
Yeah, I'm watching The Sopranos, binge watching. I never actually watched The Sopranos for, the 6 seasons, and I'm into the 6th season. That would be like me sitting there and saying, I'm nervous because I had a chance at that Gumar, that really good-looking woman that's fucking Tony Soprano. No, I'm not, because I don't shoot and kill people. I don't threaten people, and I'm really fat like he was, but I don't have that kind of authority.
Or charisma, for that.
Right. Or family, or
exactly
contacts. And fans have forgotten, we're so tied up on this Aaron Judge. And look, he had a great year.
Yep.
62 dingers, 131 ribbies. I mean, great. Not a good year, a great year for the ages. Right.
Yeah, 131 RBIs, man. That's like one every game.
He didn't do shit for them today.
He didn't. He struck out a lot.
He, didn't do dick. Now, that doesn't mean the next time out he can get two.
Oh, exactly.
He can hit 2 dingers out of the park.
Like I said the other day, I mean, we were up 2 games back in 2017. We lost the next 3. So there you go. I mean, it can happen.
I'm not even talking about the end results of the series. I'm just saying from game to game, it's easy for us. Like there was a headline I saw on ESPN. Lakers talking to Russ. Okay.
Russ who? Limbaugh? I think he's dead.
About playing with the second unit. And that's how that's the Lakers headline? I mean, I am so sick of superstars,
God, yeah.
You know what superstars are like? Fucking dilettantes. I don't want to deal with fucking dilettantes.
I remember, okay, can I do a Bob Costas? I remember when Superstars was a TV show with Bob Seger kicking ass and Joe Frazier nearly drowning in the pool. That's how old I am, Bob Costas.
You want to know how old I am? I remember the song when Karen Carpenter sang it.
Yep.
Talking with you activates my brain. So, so here we are. And who won? And it's like, I actually saw fans on Twitter saying, oh, Ramirez has disappeared. It's like after 9 at-bats. After 9 at-bats, And if my back wasn't bad, I would force their heads to my dick and make them suck. Okay? But my back's not good enough. So instead, I respond on Twitter saying, how can you turn on the guy who signs the long-term contract, who doesn't turn his back on the team like Francisco Lindor, and who lives up to it by having a 29 home run season, driving in whatever it was, 121 runs. And he only had like 11 runs or 10 runs batted in less than Aaron Judge did.
Yep.
How could you get on him? And the answer is because Cleveland fans are a piece of shit. That's why. It's why I left Northeast Ohio. Most negative thinking people. When I left Ohio, I had all my fucking success because they're all about telling you what you can't do, what you can't do. But in the end, he makes a hustle play. All right?
Yeah.
He gets a swinging, a seeing eye single, stretches it into a double with hustle, and then is heads up enough to take the third base on the missed throw, forcing them into an error. But you know something? Long before that happened, there was an Ahmed Rosario home run that kind of tilted a little bit of the balance in the Guardians' favor, being down 2-0 and being a team that is a little bit offense challenged. The Guardians found themselves in a situation where they needed something, and Rosario hit it over the center field wall. Then we come back and we tie up the game. All right. Then we're in familiar territory, which if you've been watching the team at all, real familiar territory. And, but keeping the Yankees at 2 runs, it wasn't just a matter of blink your eyes and we're waiting for the next big superstar play. It's Quan making that ankle high catch in left field on a rapidly falling line drive that would have changed the score entirely. 2 runs would have likely scored if he has to try to short hop that ball. He's probably going to have to block it, and the second run will come in. It's Josh Naylor hitting a ball over the center fielder's head, who took a terrible path to the ball.
Yeah, he's a rookie. The Yankees outfield looked like the old school Indians outfield when we had Chisenhall and Johnny Damon and all those other fuckers who couldn't field worth a shit.
You know what he took? He took an Ahmed Rosario center field course to the ball.
Fair enough, yeah.
How did it get behind me? So scoring that third run The real gut punch was the fourth run. I wanted the fifth run too, but
so
what are you going to do? You can't have everything. But that's the gut punch. One swing can tie it up. The other way, it's harder to get 2 runs, especially Clase comes out, pitches and throws almost 30 pitches in the process. But he walks one, but he gets that critical first out first. And then from there, it was done. And the place went silent.
It looked like they were pitching around Josh Donaldson because I think he had at least 3 walks in the game, maybe more. And that's probably a good idea because he kills our ass in big games.
Yeah. So, what I know after watching the game is that it's Trevor Stephan, who comes in. And, I mean, you don't know what kind of heart palpitations somebody has coming into Yankee Stadium with 47,500 people hurling racial epithets or whatever they do in New York. And, going out there, and you could see Clase, in the tent.
He was nervous.
Oh, my God. He was pounding his chest with his fist, telling himself, come on, driving himself, do it.
Yeah.
And, what's beautiful, I see only 14 people who are live viewers because I'm talking about the Guardians. I don't give a fuck about the Browns. You don't understand. And I'm telling you why. It takes more than one guy. Myles Garrett is so hung up on himself his fast cars that, he's Tracy Chapman's boyfriend. Take your fast car and keep on driving. Don't tell me how good you are. Just show me how good you are. And it takes more than Myles Garrett rushing around the end and giving up his gap to make big plays, to make the defense for the Browns anything at all. What won the game for the Guardians was that all men playing together.
Oh, yeah, they did. They absolutely did. Everybody had a role, man.
From top to bottom, you have Quan making the catch, Rosario with the solo home run. You got Ramirez with the hustle, double, and extra base. What we forget about, then we got Naylor, who's playing hurt. He's only playing on 1.5 legs, and has been for weeks, months. And he drives one over the center fielder's head. We forget about Owen Miller because.
Hen just got 2 walks. I mean, they couldn't get him out. So
yeah, I mean, the way I look at it, everybody plays a part in victory. Yeah. And as long as the Cleveland Browns buy into this, Myles Garrett is untouchable. This guy's untouchable. Do you know that Denzel Ward is 95th out of 97 PFF rated cornerbacks?
I didn't know that, but
in the AFC. Oh, yes. Oh, yes. I mean, he's sucking the bigger moose than
Bullwinkle.
Than me. Yes. I mean, but he's our island defender, And then you have Greg Newsome saying, I know that I haven't played up to my standards. And it's like, is this a fucking Alcoholics Anonymous meeting? Shut the fuck up and do it.
Okay, I'll ask one question about the Browns. Whatever happened to that all players meeting that they supposedly had 2 weeks ago? And
they were probably partying.
Oh, I mean, these people just need to stop giving interviews. Just don't talk to anybody ever again. We don't want to hear it.
and the fact of the matter is that fans think that Jose Ramirez can beat the mighty Yankees by himself. And it's like, get a life. You have no understanding of the way athletics should be played because the only title you ever saw in your life was LeBron, okay? Yeah. And LeBron is the only one you will ever see in Cleveland for that many years who is a certifiable top 5 of all time NBA player.
Yeah. Well, I mean, thanks to Jim Brown. if not better.
Yep. And then that was the time before.
Yeah.
And you know what the bottom line is? If it were today, fans would say, I hate Jim Brown because he threw a woman off a balcony.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's the other thing. No matter how much you don't want to hear about it, whoever said athletes were role models, the Ravens fans don't care about Ray Lewis with a knife in his hand. They don't care about that. They just don't care. They're just going to cheer him on in the field. But Cleveland fans, God only knows, you have to be a virtuous choir boy and so violent on the field that you crush somebody's skull at the same time. God only knows what it is people want. But what I'm saying about the Guardians is that they're still in it.
Yeah.
And the Browns are further away from it now than they were before the season began because we can't get our act together. Yeah. And we want the defensive coordinator fired, and players aren't doing what they're supposed to do. Clowney has decided he's not playing this weekend. He's going to have a tequila and sit at the poolside. And, while Naylor's out there hopping on one leg when he swings and misses, there is drive and desire and sacrifice that comes with winning. And I will say this to every Cleveland fan, and you can take Greg Williams and you can drown him in the lake with Hugh. Okay. Greg Williams is a fucking psychopath, and he wears his welcome out. And I don't want him. If he comes back to the team, I'm out. That guy's a sicko. Don't want that. I want somebody who's a thinking person, not somebody who just yells and screams in people's faces. I don't want Rob Ryan. I don't want these types of people. These are people who are publicity seekers. They're, I'm going to do a bounty hunting thing. That's me. And then Myles Garrett would be saying, hey, man, you stole my headline, that bounty hunter thing.
Yeah, there's still plenty of boss hogs out there in the NFL that still get jobs every year.
Give me a line coach. Give me, a defensive coordinator who knows how to use the pieces that he has. What's the good of going out and getting players and then just misusing them, misaligning them, or allowing them to misalign themselves?
Yeah, allowing them to do whatever they damn well please, which seems to be what's going on.
And I look at the Guardians, and it's 1-1. All things are possible. But I want to point this out. Y'all wanted a superstar. Yeah. Baker's our superstar. He won a playoff game.
Well, Guardians just won a playoff game.
Yeah, he is your hero. And you know something? He was never. All he was a quarterback in a safety-first offense who had a good year but felt like he was being held back, got hurt the next year, got traded. Now he's the lowest-rated quarterback, and he's got a high ankle sprain, and
it's over for him.
Kiss his ass goodbye. You're looking for stars. You're putting pressure on people. It has to be that every man works in tandem with the one next to him and the one next to him and the one next to him. And football is a choreographed game.
Correct.
And baseball it's a great thing for a relief pitcher to know that Jimenez is behind him on the field, Yeah. It's a wonderful thing. Hey, Double P, how are you?
Hey.
Doing good. The Guardians won today.
Yeah, they did.
I see you've been listening to the program. To me, it's just as simple as that. Every man carries his weight and then some. The effort that's given. And it's what will fuel the Guardians in future years, whether they win this series or they don't, is that they did way more during the season than anyone expected them to.
Oh, God, yeah.
That's one thing. And the other thing is they've proven they can beat them in Yankee Stadium. which may well have to happen again if they want to win the series.
Wow.
And, that's, but I'm cheering them on because it's like, oh, this is an underdog guy, in the ring fighting for the championship, This is the ultimate underdog story that is being subverted by national announcers who are just filleting the Big Apple.
Oh, God.
And the fact of the matter is, I give credit to the organization. The pitchers showed composure. Bieber, who gives up those 2 runs early, could have hung himself.
God,
but it took 100 pitches, man. But he almost got us into the 7th inning, 1 out short. And we used the bullpen that has been closing. Karinchak got a little nervous, and that's to be expected in Yankee Stadium. And to be honest with you, I don't know what county the home plate umpire was in, but the balls and strike calls for both teams were really bizarre in some instances.
I think if the pitch looked attractive, he called it a strike, even though it was a ball.
Balls that were outside, up and out. I've never seen an umpire call a high outside pitch a strike, and this guy was just doing it over and over again.
Yeah, I think if the pitch looked cool, he called it a strike, basically.
Yeah, very strange. But it's so nice, do you know who would make an impact, Jim? Anybody who does what they're fucking supposed to do.
And tries.
That's
tries on every
who would
play.
make an impact. And Ndamukong Suh will just get 15-yard penalties. I just want people who do the job.
And plus, he's available for a reason. He's so old, and he can only play like half a season, so I don't see how that's going to help us.
Good point.
I mean, at this point, it's really too late to get help. And it's really funny. I didn't even bother reading stories. I would just see quotes, and it was like Stefanski saying, we're really concentrating on tackling. And I'm like, for fucking Christ's sake,
Concentrate now.
What I'm really working on is a pool cue up your ass. See, I'm watching The Sopranos.
Wow.
I'm tired of this. I mean, if you don't know how to tackle, I refuse to believe that you made it through college, made it into the pros, and don't know how to tackle with proper technique. It's that you're not trying.
Yeah.
You're not putting the effort in. And I'm not going to cheer for anything where I feel the effort isn't being put in.
Yeah.
And I'm going to cheer on people, even if the Guardians end up losing the next 2 games. It's going to be, oh, boo-hoo. And that's the other thing that kills me. You see how the cameras in these games are honing in on little children who are weeping.
Yeah, that is creepy.
It's a fucking game.
Don't do little Timmy. Don't do him.
No.
Don't do him.
No, little Timmy would not.
He wouldn't cry anyway.
No, little Timmy, it would be like, if little Timmy were a Yankees fan, it would go something like this. Why did you go take your golden sombrero and shove it up your ass, Judge? There goes the judge. There goes the judge. All right. Yeah, but it's like their world is coming to an end. And these guys aren't heroes. These guys are multimillionaires, and they don't give a fuck about you, little Timmy.
No, they don't.
I mean, and the fact of the matter is, it's a meaningless game because this is even up.
Yep.
And you can see why the Rays gave the Yankees so much trouble, because if you can get to the back end of the bullpen, eventually you're going to hit a guy like Tylon, who we piled on Tylon, and he ends up giving up the go ahead runs. If you can get through the murderous lineup and get your starter getting you damn near 7 innings and get to our bullpen. We have, just like the Rays, you're hanging in, and suddenly those big sluggers start taking bigger swings because they want to end it like Myles Garrett. Well, they want to be the hero. They want to be the big guy, and their swing widens, and the next thing they know, 100-mile-an-hour fastballs are being poured past them by Emmanuel Clase, and the game is over.
Yeah, I think we need Peter Ellis on the Guardians here. Maybe talking about Aaron Judge and his great day today.
No, it would be like, oh, Bob Boone. Oh, Boone. For goodness sakes, what can I tell you? You were no good when you came to play for Cleveland. And oh, you're coming back. Oh, if you lose to Cleveland, you know what people in New York will do. They'll drag you feet first into a billiard hall and shove a cue stick up your ass.
That'll be the new way of ass raping on Moohead Radio.
Let me chalk it up. They found one of his balls in his corner pocket. There you go. So at any rate, congratulations, because the Guardians are the team that went out and won.
Yeah.
And we keep waiting for the Browns to go out and win what they're supposed to win. And don't worry, I'm here to talk about that too. But I wanted to start the beginning of the show by saying I give full credit to the team that actually walks the walk instead of talks the talk. The team that goes out and overperforms, hustles, every man trying as hard as he can. That's what I go for. Yeah. So there's that. So we know that Denzel Ward and Jadeveon Clowney are out for the Patriots game, but of course, Bill Belichick and his magic, Mac Jones' status is still uncertain. And of course, he's going to hold that card next to his chest for literally as long as he can. And what does it really matter? I mean, Mac Jones, if you take a look at statistics, he's average yards per game at 262 yards per game. He completes 66% of his passes. He does have 5 picks to only 2 touchdowns. He has an overall 76 rating. And then Zappy, the guy that they took his place. Yes. He's playing pretty well, but in a very simplified Bill Belichick offense that Corky would understand. Okay. Yeah. But again, the way they beat the Lions was A, well, the Lions were the Lions, and B, the same way they beat the Browns being the Browns. If you're just not together on the same page,
they will win, yeah.
29-0 against the Lions, and they ran over them, right? Literally on the ground. It isn't Mac Jones or Zappy that's the issue. I can tell you what Bill Belichick is thinking in his murderous mind.
He is thinking.
Oh, no, I can't do Corky.
Oh, dude, no, Nick, you know what you need to do for Bill Belichick? You need to get out our favorite black cow and show him on the screen.
I've been doing it for too many years, and it hasn't gotten rid of him. Although I will do Bill Belichick. Yeah. So, Bill, what do you think you're going to be doing out there on Sunday? Mumbles! Hey, Mumbles! Mumbles Italiano. Yeah.
Dean Martin.
Yeah. I am convinced that Belichick is sitting there saying, oh, yeah, they're going to fire up that defensive line, and they are going to overcommit.
Yep.
So they're going to bite double hard on the play action.
Yep.
And they're going to try to start a linebacker who doesn't even know the system that they just got, Deion Jones from the Falcons. And you know what I'm going to do? I'm just going to slide my little running back out into the flats and throw little screens, and they'll miss tackles. and we'll just move the ball down the field that way. And every time they overreact, I'm going to run a misdirection play. I'll run like 6 end arounds if I have to, because they're going to bite on everything, because the coaching staff is biting them in the ass. You got to do this. You got to do this. You got to do this. I don't know if you saw the Kade York story. What a ridiculous piece of shit story that was.
No, what have they done to the poor lad? Leave him alone.
Well, I mean, it's Mike Prefer's concept of coaching up, and I want to find this article.
A kid's got to be like 22, 21 years old. Leave him alone.
Here we go. Browns rookie kicker Kade York focused on shutting out noise, sticking with process ahead of Patriots game. He's playing at home.
He is.
They're supposed to be cheering for you. It's dysfunctional. I'm going to shut out the noise. But listen to what Prefer is saying. And this is really scary. I'm trying to get by. Special teams coordinator Mike Prefer watched back the film with York earlier this week. Immediately, Prefer said York knew what he did wrong, not striking the ball well on the first miss and pushing both kicks too far to the right. From that hash, he knew he had to get it over a little bit right from that distance, Prefer said. He followed his line. I thought he hit the ball really well. The one at the end of the first half, he didn't hit well, as I'm sure he told you. The one at the end of the game, he hit very well. It had followed his line. His line was just too far to the right. Now,
what does that even mean? That's like
it's like, I'm going to take a field sobriety test when I get pulled over for driving erratically, and they're going to give me the, touch your nose and walk in a straight line, and I'm going to walk off at a different angle, and they're going to say, I'm sorry, we're bringing you in. And I say, well, no, that was my line. Oh. That may not be your line, but it was my line. And Kade York is a confused young guy saying, I'm on the TV show, what's my line? And I haven't the foggiest notion.
Wow.
Yep. So.
It's terrible.
Yeah. So what are they doing about it?
All right. I'm going to say I got to leave. So I probably missed the end of the show. But I will say the Patriots are going to win by some stupid play. And I don't care anymore. Anyway, I'll see you in the post game. I got to go.
All right. Thanks, Bron.
Yep.
So York, it turns out, did not make a trip to the First Energy Stadium this week to get some practice kicks in. But he said the team has discussed doing so once the weather gets worse so he can get acclimated quicker. I don't know what that means either. The Browns say they haven't lost confidence in York. I mean, how can he? He's a young guy. He missed 2 kicks. Suck my dick. He's 8 for 10. He's making 80%. And you keep putting him in last-second situations because you don't get the requisite yardage and you call bad plays on 4th down instead of letting him kick. Or else he'd have a higher percentage. Here's what Stefanski said. Rookie kickers. It's hard to just show up and make everything every single time. That's not realistic. We understand that. Kade is no different than any one of our rookies. We anticipate those guys to get better. They are not finished products. That's how I look at it. It's like, no, we're not going to let you kick in the stadium. But where is the positive feedback? It's like Mike Prefer looking at the film and saying, well, you missed it to the right. I mean, I know that. He knows that. Who's analyzing why he's doing it? He missed the extra point to the right, too. What is the point? Are you trying to help him or are you trying to fuck him up? That's the only question I got out of this. And it's just bad position coaching, the wrong approach. Meanwhile, Terry Francona is sitting in the dugout, and he's like, every inning that goes by 2-2, Terry told his team, remember that 15-inning win that got you here. we do our jobs, we pitch well, we play good defense, you'll get your chance. Your time will come. And sure enough, it comes true. And they run off the field victorious. The Browns, on the other hand, they don't seem to understand how to play in a close situation. And what does Cleveland.com, by the way, you should cancel your subscription to Cleveland.com. They're a piece of shit. You don't need it. And all they're doing is creating literally a paywall for stuff that you can get anywhere else on the internet. They're lazy. They're just basically rewording what is available all around the internet. Everything that I talk about, none of it comes from there, except maybe some of the ridiculous quotes or the ridiculous angles they take, like this one. Deshaun Watson has another suit filed against him alleging sexual misconduct that happened in 2020, but it's not expected to impact his suspension. Why is it a fucking headline then?
Yeah.
I mean, are you honestly telling me that you thought all of those 24 cases happened in a vacuum and there was nobody else affected? And why would this person, after the payout was made for the other women, why would she suddenly show up at the same time that Deshaun Watson comes back into the building? Because a whore's a whore. You got it? The lawyers are lawyers. Yeah, we'll hold back. We'll hold back until he's back in the building, and that'll put the vice around his balls. Yeah. That's all this is about. And it's stupid. I won't talk about it anymore. How Deion Jones can help the Browns' struggling run defense. Tackle. Hustle. Yeah. Poor Jacob Phillips. He
looked so good in that Steelers game, too, just to fall and not be actually anything.
Well, obviously, when people pick stuff up on tape and they're saying, look, this guy's biting at this, biting at this, biting on that. If we just run certain play action, we can move him on the field. They already said in Eckler's 71-yard run that you could see what had happened, and Jacob Phillips had a role in making the B gap that they ran through even bigger. His job is to fill that up. I mean, if you roll off a block in the A gap, you gotta cover your gap. And instead, I don't know what happened, man. The B gap got bigger and the guy just ran right through it. You and I could have run through it, for God's sakes. And, there's nothing Deion Jones coming onto the team is going to help the Browns' struggling run defense. And if you're saying that Anthony Walker being out, has killed the defense, what does that tell you?
Yeah.
I mean, isn't anybody going to stand up on the defense and just stand up like the guys in the Guardians do and say, I'm going to make my presence felt? Isn't there a leader in the bunch of them who gives a shit? Isn't there anybody with professional pride? And I just don't think there is.
Yeah, we have a lack of leadership, and we brought in John Johnson III, who was supposed to be that leader. He's obviously just going along with the bunch and not performing
like he did all last year.
Yeah, Anthony Walker, who was our leader, is hurt. We need it shouldn't just be one guy, or should be like two guys, and like you said, they need pride, and I just don't get why it's like they just don't care and they just don't have effort. Like that Eckler touchdown, I think it was Ward or someone, they just let him walk in and didn't even attempt to tackle him. So.
That's right. That's just no effort. Joe Woods, meanwhile, believes Browns defense will improve if we all work together. We are the world. We are the children. We are the ones to make a better place. So let's start giving. Empty your wallets, folks. There are people dying. They're losing their fucking lives. And that's why we're making this video with every star who wants to be seen. Joe Woods. if we all work together. Sounds like fucking John F. Kennedy, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And I'm creating... Wait, I can do that before the crowd. I'm creating something called the Peace Corps. You know, it's like... That really lasted a long time, Mr. JFK. Ask today's, Generation Z people. It's like, fuck you, I'm not going to Ghana. Fuck off. They're not working together. And if they don't know that they're supposed to work together, Joe Woods, you failed. You failed. Go away. And then this famous one. Joe Woods, great quote. I know what I'm doing. I'm gonna give you an example of I know what I'm doing. All right. The porn star known as the Hedgehog, Ron Jeremy, okay? He knows what he's doing with his dick. He knows what he's doing. But if he can't train me what to do with mine, it doesn't make any difference. You have to be able to share your wisdom with people. I know what I'm doing. Well, what the fuck does that mean? Your job is to teach others and to bring people together. That's the job. And it just pisses me off to no great end that the defensive coordinator is defending himself by, I know what I'm doing. And, that's scary in and of itself. Because I can think of historical figures who said the same thing.
Yeah.
Don't you think that Hitler said, it's like, my Fuhrer, you can't go into Russia. And he goes, I know what I'm doing. Everybody thinks they know what they're doing. That's why they do the wrong thing. They think they know.
Yeah.
Oh, my God. It's just more and more ridiculous.
Did you hear what Charles Robinson said?
No.
Charles Robinson, a reporter who had a lot of insights to the Browns, he said that in the offseason there was discussions about actually removing Joe Woods, but some people in the building fought to keep him. In the front office, they fought to keep him for this season.
I wonder who his buddy is. Doesn't it make you
I
wonder?
Want to know. I just want to know who wanted to keep Joe Woods as DC going into this year.
Probably, I don't know, guy with the SKI at the end of his name. Well, what can I tell you about that? I look around the prognosticators of what's going to happen, and, I could use the Bob Costas, analysis. Well, the Browns are the better team. The Yankees are the better team. The Yankees are the better team. God damn it, how did the Guardians win? The Yankees are a better team. I can say that the Browns are a better team than the Patriots. That doesn't mean dick. The Browns were also a better team than the Chargers. The Browns were also a better team than the Jets. It doesn't matter. Hello, Christopher Milton Sr. My goodness. Here is what ESPN is predicting. Patriots 20, Browns 16. But they're saying the FPI prediction is at 73.7%. By an average of over a touchdown, say that Cleveland's going to win. All right? That's ESPN. Then we have the NFL.com. All right? The Patriots 24, the Browns 23. And they're randomly selecting 1-point losses because it will be 23-21 until the last play. They'll kick a field goal and win. 24-23 is what NFL.com is saying. PFT, all right? And here we go. Dan Florio, who hates Deshaun Watson. Browns 24, Patriots 17, but Florio's take, Patriots 24, Browns 20. Now, this is a team doesn't have fucking starting quarterback, okay? And even if they do, it's Mac Jones, which is barely a step up from mac and cheese. And the film on the game is almost as bad as the movie Mac and Me. Look it up. Then we have SI.com, who says, why are you looking at this when we have women with big tits in swimsuits? Breer and Orr pick New England, and Golditch and Gramling pick the Browns. Steelers fans pick their nose. All right. Bleacher Report. Consensus score prediction, Patriots 28, Browns 26. There's that close loss again. So there you have it. You are what you eat, and this is what we read, and this is who we are. So why should we expect a team that needs practice tackling to have any business being on the field with guys who Bill Belichick doesn't give a shit about? He doesn't do rally, pump 'em up speeches. He just sends out the troops to get slaughtered. They'll do whatever it takes to win, including cheat. What makes you think the Browns even have a chance? So with that in mind, with 10 minutes left in the show, I will turn it to Double P. And what is your projected score of this game?
I think for one, it's like, why even pick a side to win? I mean, they should have won all the other games, but I do think the Browns, they should win because obviously we have the best rushing attack in the league. It's just going to come up to what do we have on defense, because it seems like the offense has to score on every possession. But if they do win, I think it would probably be like Browns 31, Patriots 23.
All right. And my prediction is 27-17, Patriots win, and it won't be hard. Team's going to quit again because they're playing against a team. The coach isn't going to let these guys just lollygag. There's no time for bullshit, you know? Rick May is saying Patriots 27-17, just like me. So is Ron Leffman, just like me. Ron Shane is just praying to the baby Jesus that somebody hits the last second field goal or something positive happens. Or that they score a touchdown, the Patriots, but miss the extra point. So the game's being played in Cleveland, Tony. Hey, there's Rubber City Breaks. Let's see what he has to say. Hey, Moo. Hey, Moo. In our 3 losses, we have given up a total of 6 points. Could easily be 5-0. Also could be 1-4. Coach makes a big difference in those moments. And I'm not going to tell you that I like Bill Belichick. I don't like what he does. I don't like what he stands for. But he doesn't give a shit. He doesn't coddle any player. And if you don't play hard for him, you're on your ass and you're hitting the bricks. And every player knows that. Our guys just know they can just get headlines by saying, well, I'm really better than that. That's what they know. And there's Tony. He's weighing in with the Patriots winning. Yeah, this deciding by a 67-yard Kade York desperate attempt to win. And Mary Kay Cabot will just excoriate him, SAT word, for missing the 67-yarder wide right. He's going right again. Yeah, but it traveled 67. It traveled 68, 9 yards in the air. No, it went right though. It's really funny. I thought nothing went right for the Browns, but yes, it does. All right.
I know we're at the tail end here, but I just wanted to say the Cavs, the game they had Wednesday, Darius Garland really looks like he's going to take it up an even higher notch this season. He looked so good on Wednesday against the Hawks.
But here's the problem that the Cavs are going to run into, because invariably when you get a Donovan Mitchell, and Donovan Mitchell has not shot well in the preseason at all, but he's better with the ball in his hands. He's kind of Colin Sexton-esque. But the ball has to be more in Darius Garland's hands. And this whole thing by committee thing never usually works out exactly. It's kind of like having Wall and Beal in the backcourt. You know what I mean? I don't know how many times we heard about the Wizards were going to be this great playoff team because I had these two great guards. What we have to do is, you see how important Evan Mobley is to this process.
Yes.
And without somebody to slough off, the double team on Jared Allen made him a much less effective player around the basket. He was getting shots knocked down, balls stripped from him, all kinds of things. But with an extra 7-footer in there who also has some range, it'll be very interesting to see how it plays out. It may take a while for this team to hit a stride. And, one game does not a career make. And I know Okoro had a good game, but he hasn't for the most part. This is the story of him. He gets a little confidence, hits a few threes, has a good game, and then all of a sudden he misses a few threes. He stops taking them, and he doesn't play much defense, and he kind of just becomes a forgotten man. That's happened too much. But I think it's going to take them a little while to hit their stride. And I think Donovan Mitchell has to learn how to work in the backcourt with Darius Garland, because Donovan Mitchell was a big scorer in Utah. And Darius Garland scored more points than people expected him to last year. But he played so many minutes that there's going to be times when, that's the plan. One of them or both of them are going to be on the court for the entirety of the game. In other words, if one's in, the other's out, then there's going to be the periods at the end where they end up playing together. They need to establish the same kind of chemistry. The thing with Jared Allen and the pick and roll is really big. With Darius Garland, he's got to come to that same level of comfort with Donovan Mitchell. And believe me, Donovan Mitchell knows how to play the pick and roll game. I mean, look what he had in Utah. He had Rudy Gobert, and that was, one of the top 2 pick and roll teams in the NBA. I think that it's going to be fun to watch them. I got a kick out of Diakate, the guy who, out of Virginia. And, did he make the team? Is he going to be the Magic 15th guy? Is he going to be on a two-way? I would imagine the two-way players will probably be Diakate. And who is the other one who's going to be the...
But Sharif Cooper?
No. Who's going to be the other one? I'm not. I'm blanking on the name, but it's fun because Diakate really didn't score in college, and he was knocking down some threes. I'm like, well, wait a minute. He looks a little more comfortable shooting that than what I thought. He's 6'9". He's probably too slight to play the 4. And he's probably not quite quick enough and athletic enough to consistently play the 3. But with Dean Wade still with lingering hurts, the Cavaliers are going to need a 3. That's the weakness of the team. And Okoro hasn't been able to do the job, and Jetty Osman hasn't been able to do the job. And Dean Wade is probably going to get the first crack at it. Dylan Windler will never see the roster because he'll be let go because he can't stay healthy. And,
not to kick a man while he's down, Isaiah Mobley once again showing he's not really.
He's the other two-way. He's the other two-way. And the only reason is because of his last name. He is. Yeah,
he's not good. I'm sorry.
He's the prescient Bronny James, okay? This is going to be, we know why he's on the team,
I know it's early to ask, but do you trust JB in being able to balance Garland and Mitchell? Do you think he can do it?
It's the challenge in this is what I saw that bothered me in the losses this preseason is that the ball was sticking instead of moving. The Cavaliers are built on 5 men, and you can't go backwards into a 2-man with the other 3 watching, and that's a fear. And in a lot of the games that they've lost and the patches where they have done really well, the ball's zinging around the floor, but when it starts sticking, that's where the problem lies. So, and Rubber City breaks, Windler's still alive, but he doesn't heal, and he's constantly got leg injuries, and, enough is enough. You can't wait for that. Why is Schwartz still on the team? Because he's probably a Jewish accountant. And Haslam needs him. I have no idea why Schwartz is on the field. I don't know if you saw the isolated video on him in a practice where they just threw a little ball to him and he had to just run through a tackling dummy, and the tackling dummy stood him up. Did you see that?
Oh man, no, I did not see that.
I almost shit my pants. I was laughing so hard. It's like he couldn't get through. You know what it looked like? It looked like big fat me trying to get onto a city bus without hitting the sides of the doors, what the fuck? I mean, how can somebody be so uncoordinated and non-nimble and be a wide receiver? I mean, unbelievable. Carmelo, did you mean Tony Soprano's wife? I don't know.
Before we go, I just want to say, if you want to know how football looks with the 2 worst owners, just watch last night.
Well, and the NFL's tried to get rid of Daniel Snyder, and this is hilarious how this will play out. And what does he do? He Donald Sterling's.
Exactly.
I've got dirt on the league. It's like, you can't be Daniel Snyder and not have so much dirt on yourself. He's fucking with the wrong people here.
Yeah.
Donald Sterling thought he could play that bluff too. And it's like, it doesn't work out that way. And we should be able to I wish we could get the Haslams and the Snyders out, because the ownerships are what are lacking in the league and why so many teams are generationally bad, because the families of bad owners, and they, beget other dumb owners. And so it goes. A few other things I want to talk about before I get out of here. The NFL's sense of justice. Steal a game from the Falcons, let Tom Brady win, but then looking at the film of a late sack that was called a 15-yard penalty that prevented the Falcons from getting the ball in their hands to win the game, all right? And calling that, roughing the passer. And when they looked at the film the second time, they don't even make reference to the bad call on the sack, but they say, but Tom Brady looked like he tried to kick him when he was getting up, so we'll fine Tom Brady $11,000. You know what that's like?
Wow.
I mean, can you imagine giving a parking ticket to Deshaun Watson when he has a $230 million guarantee? It's like, fuck you, I'll park wherever I want.
Yeah.
So that's the NFL sense of justice. let's find Tom Brady so we find him accountable for something, which is really unbelievable. There is one other thing that is making headlines. People are in this time warp in Cleveland, and I wish they'd get out of it. You remember Jabba Chamberlain and the Midges? Is that a yes or a no?
I'm not familiar.
Jabba Chamberlain was a relief pitcher with the New York Yankees who in the postseason came to play in what I will forever call the Jake. And a bunch of these bugs came off the lake called midges and collected around Jabba Chamberlain because he was shit. And that's usually what they're attracted to. And it was so thick with these insects. It was like one of those, I don't know if you've ever had, we get love bugs down here in Florida, and they can be so plentiful in the air, you can swallow them. It's really disgusting.
Oh, man.
But Jabba Chamberlain ended up having this reaction. Okay, he literally freaked out, lost his composure, and had to be pulled out of the game because he fucked up, right? And they're saying that the midges might swarm the stadium again. And and I'm sitting here saying they already have. That's what the Guardians are. They're a bunch of midges. They don't hit home runs. They're tiny but mighty and many, and they're relentless. That's what they are. And if these headlines can't see, that's the story. It doesn't take insects to beat the Yankees, nor incest. Thank God. You don't have to have help from the insect world. You just got to be relentless. And that's what I want the Browns to be. I don't care if the Browns lost, but they were relentless in their pursuit. I would say, good try. Which is probably what I'll wind up saying about the Guardians, because how long they can go on winning 2-1 games, 1-0 games, 4-2 games, I don't know. But the Yankees certainly have the ability with hot bats to score 8 runs in a heartbeat, 2 games in a row, and that would be that. But be that as it may, I give them credit for trying because they're relentless. And until the Browns show me that relentlessness, I'm going to continue saying what I say. So, again, I'll be back at halftime on Sunday and after the game on the post-game show, and we'll have an opportunity to see whether they're walking the walk or whether they're talking the talk. And just remember, the one gem that you take from this show is that Belichick is going to take advantage of over-pursuit and over-aggressiveness by the Browns' defensive line, defensive end specifically. You're going to see so many balls going out into the flats and then the little stutter step moves. You're going to see misdirection plays, and he's going to make them look like idiots. And that's because I know, other people know, but the guy who says he knows what he's doing on the defensive side of the ball doesn't know. And that's all I'm waiting for. All I'm waiting for is him to be ushered out of town. But I'm not even sure it gets figured out this year. But at any rate, and Greedy Williams is back, and which means that he'll be rolling in agony within 1 or 2 quarters of the game. So, everybody, Double P, thanks for joining us. Bronk, wherever you are in England, thanks for stopping by. And all the people who support the podcast, I appreciate it. And I hope the Browns do what the Guardians did and step forward and put out their best effort and let the chips fall where they may. Thanks, everybody, and I'll see you Sunday. Until then, hasta la vista, Pastor Heads. Good night.
Go Cavs.
Woohoo!